Guys, thanks for clicking on this video. I did a 45-minute version of this video, which I am putting onto my Patreon. It's under the deep dive section in my memberships. It is $2.99 a month for me basically rambling on and on about particular topics that go into it at a depth that is like you may not be ready for it. You may listen to it and be like, oh, well, that was a really interesting theory, and then move on. And then like 6 months later, be like, I want to re-listen to that. Maybe I can understand it a little better now. That's why I'm making this repository. Okay. Um, uh, so this particular video, I'm gonna try and keep it at 12 minutes or less. Okay. But I get super excited, and the more I talk, the more I talk. So we're going to talk about how to cleanse your elemental bodies. Okay, we are going to go through them in the order of air, earth, water, fire. There's a reason that I'm doing this in this order, and I will explain it as I go along. But we're going to start with the air body, which is the mental body. This is your processing unit, your brain, your computations, your informational data. It's your intellect, your thoughts, your inspiration, your way of communicating. Okay? So, when we communicate, when we talk, when we think, we have ideas, whatever it is, it creates a little bit of energy. Okay? So, let's just see this as an energetic basket inside of our mind. Okay? So, we have the energetic shelf that has all of our ideas and understandings about life that we carry on a daily basis and use on a daily basis. Okay, that's on a shelf. But then we have this little basket, and this is old ideas, things that we don't really believe anymore, that aren't really very useful for us. Okay, and we've put them in this little box. Now, I want you to think about an apple that has gone bad in a bunch. Now, imagine that one of those energies has turned rotten, meaning it's starting to decay. Every single one of those energies in that little basket are starting to decay. Let's say that the bottom of this basket starts to decompose and it starts to leak out at the very, 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 very tiny little bottom, right? One tiny little speck of that energy dripping out of that basket has now created decomposition in your mental space. Okay? It doesn't matter if you have them in a basket. Eventually, that basket becomes overrun by that energy. Unless you remove the rotting apple, you can't save the bunch. So that's why we're talking about cleansing, because this happens in all of the different elemental bodies. Okay. If we think about the physical body, this is the fat, this is the disease. These are the things that we do to our body that we're not even realizing we're doing because we are not flushing away old energies. And we'll talk about what kind of energies those are when we get to the different elements of the body. Okay. So, like I said, the air body is your mental body. These are your old thoughts, your old ideas, the things that you don't really believe anymore that you need to flush out of your body. Okay. We do this, we cleanse our mental emotion or our mental mind using smoke. Okay. Smoke transmits cleansing energy. Think about it as the ash is the cleanest thing in the entire world. The smoke is literally the microscopic portions of that ash released into the air. Okay. If it is a low vibrational, dense energy like that from wood, wood contains a lot of information. When you burn it, it holds a lot of information, but that information is very heavy. Palo Santo and sage, like, okay, but cedar, cedar smoke is really good for you because it holds a lot of cleansing energy. It has a lot of oil in it, and the oil is cleansing. Okay, that's what matters. It's the oil within the material that you are burning that makes the difference. Is that oil cleansing or is that oil heavy? Okay, so because oil is how we trap and remove the information. That makes sense when we get to the physical body. Okay. So, what we want to do is use oils, and we can do this with like, what would be a good oil? Uh, Lavender. Lavender would be a very good oil for this. You put lavender like just right here, or even right here, or even like right here. Um, any high vibrational energy would clear too. Citrus oil, lemongrass oil, something that's going to boost your mind. Basically, give it a little like uptick. Okay. So, grapefruit oil, perfect for that. Um, just put it somewhere that is going to seep in either through smell, because that's why your nose is so sensitive to, and it has so many receptors, is because it's your drawing in of the cleansing energy place. Make sense? Okay. I hope I can get through this because we're at 5 minutes already. 5:55. Okay, so smoke carries the cleansing information and blows away all of that old energy. Okay. The oil purifies. The oil is a purifier and it can also protect. Think about the way oil wraps around water. Okay. It protects it, keeping your skin moist when we're talking about the physical body. Okay. Okay, so it protects the information. It does the same thing in the air mind. Also, crystals can do the same thing. They vibrate at their particular frequency, and their particular frequency can help to alleviate by basically like I want to say kind of like a blower, like you blowing away leaves. The vibration is actually what's blowing it away, but it's like blowing it away. Um, Analogies. They're wonderful. Okay. Moving on to the earth body. Okay. So I want you to think about your body like going out into the woods, like deep into the woods, not on like a trail, but deep into the woods and finding a spot that's maybe wet. There's mushrooms growing. The leaves underneath are white. They're starting to decompose. Okay. That is the mycelium working for the earth. We need to eat more mushrooms because we are a earth body, a physical body. That physical body has to be cleansed. So when we use antibiotics, we are clearing out our entire bacterial system, our entire sanitation system. If we don't cleanse that bacteria out of our body, this is where decomposition begins. That's like when you lift up the leaves and you see all the decomposition underneath. Mycelium is doing its job and turning that decomposition into something. So when we literally put chemicals in our body that are not good for us, and I'm not going to preach on eating healthy foods or anything like that, but what we're eating makes a difference. That is information we are taking in. If we are eating food from animals that were literally like miserable their entire lives, then their meat is transmitting the energy of miserable into your body. So you're already ingesting low vibrational energies. Does that make sense? Because and if you're not using your own bacterial system and cleansing with high vibrational oils and using like mushrooms for adaptogenics to rebuild your body, your DNA cannot be cleansed. And that's what we really want to do, is cleanse our DNA. We have to be able to transmit that cleansing energy though down to the size of the molecule. And this is done through our intestinal tract. And if we don't cleanse the intestinal tract, we gunk up the receptors that send the healing energy to our body. This is why your gut matters, right? So, ways to transmit healing energies. Oils, again, they purify. So, if also oils help with keeping the skin moisturized. Lotions hold a chemical, they don't go as deep as oils. Okay, create your own oils using things that you know your body needs. Okay, salt scrub. That's what I do. I do a salt scrub. I use sea salts and based with hemp seed and castor oil. And then I also put in other essential oils to help with the particular different parts of the emotional air, body, all of that stuff. Okay. So honey, honey is a crystalline structure and therefore carries data. If you ingest honey, and oils that are meant to purify the body, antiseptics like peppermint oil, garlic oil. Garlic oil is so freaking good for you guys. If you're not eating garlic, at least some garlic oil, at least. It's really good for you. Heart, blood, body. It is a natural antibiotic. And it won't clear out the bad or the good bacteria. It'll only attack that which is not pure. Okay. So what else? Oh, crystals that you can use are your grounding crystals. Uh, Agate would be very good. Going out and grounding yourself, putting your feet on the dirt. Dirt is a crystalline structure. Sand is a crystalline structure. It carries data. So this is a way to be able to remove stagnant data from your system is by putting your feet into the ground. Okay. Purification with oil, and also, okay. So I gotta talk about the water body and the fire body. Okay. Um, so the water body, just the same way that you care for your physical body, you want to do the same thing for your water body. But understand that it's not just the foods that you're ingesting, it's literally the water. If you are unaware of what fluoride does to your body, research it. Okay. If you are drinking tap water, you are drinking chemicals, chlorine, fluoride, whatever else they put into your chemicals. We don't really have a very good source of good, clean, fresh water. This is a problem because the water that we ingest already comes with energy. And a lot of the times it's low vibrational energy. Think about this. Somebody who works in a water bottling plant, they hate their job. All of the energy they're putting out, they're putting into that water because water holds emotions. It's literally its job is to hold emotions. So if we are not cleansing our water prior to eating it, drinking it, we are literally drinking somebody else's emotions. And that energy goes into us. So salt is how we carry data in our water body. Think about your salty tears. That is your body literally releasing the information of what you're crying about. Salt baths, salt swimming. Make sure you are charging your water, aka you just got to speak to it. Say, I love you. Like whatever you want to say to that water to ingest that water, do it because it holds memories. And then also, again, oils. Oils will purify and protect because water and oil don't mix. Remember that. So if you put oil on your skin, it holds the moisture in and allows your body to be younger. Really is nice. Okay, so the fire body. Okay, so when we're talking about the fire body, we are talking about legit like the action, the spiritual will, the drive, the spiritual drive, the passion, the purpose. Um, and that's exactly what we're talking about in this particular thing. So when your fire energy stagnates, this is when you lose your love. Okay, so think about it this way. If your light dims, everything in your life becomes a shadow. That energy will take over immediately. Depression. That is the energy of your loss of love, of self. Depression is you not loving yourself. Tell me it isn't. If you look at the opposite of depression as hermit mode, one person goes into this rest period, which is exactly what we need. One person goes into this rest period to meditate and boost their self-love. The other goes into this as, I can't move. I have no energy. I have no energy. I have no energy. I am so sad. I have no energy. Guess what? They take away their own energy and create a stagnant energy that can consume them to a point of literal destruction. Your fire can burn you either way. This is why we cleanse. This is why we have balance. Okay? Because if you allow that shadow to overcome in your life, you end up, well, you know what it ends up being. But if you have too much fire in your life, you also burn out. There is your cleansing necessity, the necessity for balance of your fire body. All potential, no intentional action. All intentional action. This will burn you up. We have to have the balance of inaction and action. Okay? There has to be balance. And you have to see your inaction as a reset period, a boost of love versus a shadow. That feeling of, if I'm not doing something, I'm lazy. That's a shadow. Okay? Love you. Love you. Love you. How do we cleanse our fire? This is a really interesting one. I've never actually heard this before, but candle gazing. I like that. It's literally drawing in the energy of the candle through your eyes. I love that. I'm going to start doing this. Or bonfires. And then you release through transmutation, visualizing the flames consuming the old energies. I do this a lot, but usually without fire. But now I'm going to do it with fire. And then sunbathing, or just going outside and sitting in the sun and say, I accept the love of the sun. I accept the energy of the sun. Make sure you speak, because your body doesn't remember, right? You have to tell your body the first few times. You have to remind yourself verbally out loud to program your body to respond the way it's supposed to respond. Okay. You are the ether. You are the fifth element. You are the one that helps the other four elements of your body remember, oh yeah, we've overcome this inability to control ourselves. That was the first dimension. Now we know how to control ourselves. You just got to remind yourself. You are the ether. Okay. So, crystals that you can use, carnelian and sunstone spices or oils, cinnamon. It is a very fiery kind of element. Yeah, that's everything. It wasn't quite, 45 minutes, thank goodness, but it wasn't quite 12 minutes either. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Bye now.